I think I want to just take a nap. Hey, it's Josephine. Welcome to Dance Medica. You might have seen me from the Pointe Shop. This is my friend, Moira, who is a physical therapist in Orange County. I send all of my dancers who are injured to Moira. So she is going to show us some of the exercises that you can do at home to get ready to go on to pointe. One of the most important things about these exercises is that we're looking at your entire body. Because when we're thinking about pointe work, generally we think about foot and ankle exercises, but you actually need to dance with your whole body when you're on pointe. When you are assessing a dancer to go on pointe, what are the things that you're looking for?
Turnout control, their technique and alignment in first position, their tendu technique, releve, sautés, single leg pirouette, their functional movement and control.
The functional part of the movement that you see, the series of movements that you see, because when I'm looking at you on pointe, you're basically putting on a shoe and you're stepping onto pointe, and that's pretty static. That is required to put together a sequence of things.
So we are going to start with doming. It targets the intrinsic muscles of the foot. So those muscles help to create stability in the arch and help you get onto your demi-pointe and pointe without overusing a lot of the long toe flexors and the calf. So what you want to do is create a little bit of a suction, a little bit of a lift there. So your knuckles are lifting up towards the ceiling and the fingers are staying flat and the heel of the hand is staying flat as well. Good. Good. And now we want to transition that to the foot. So you can also, do it with the hand at the same time. And what you want to do is create a little bit of a lift in the arch. So the heel stays planted, the toes stay nice and long and press down as we're creating a little bit of a lift in the arch. So you'll get a little bit of that suction, that doming action. What you should feel as you do this is just a little bit of work right there, a little bit of activation of the muscles underneath the arch there.
This exercise is so important, especially when you go on pointe, because a lot of dancers, because the shoes are so hard, they only use their ankle and the extrinsic muscles. They don't use the smaller muscles in your foot. So I think this is really important to not only activate this, but also to understand that you have to use these muscles when you're dancing on pointe.
As you're doing it, you want to make sure that this tendon right here isn't popping out and that you're not gripping in the calf. So that way we're getting that isolated movement in the intrinsic muscles. And so once you get the hang of it, you can start doing it in standing. You can incorporate it into your tendu.
You see a lot of dancers starting to scrunch even in the doming exercise?
Yes.
Okay, so it's important to keep the toes nice and long.
Absolutely.
So keep those toes straight when you're doing these doming exercises.
Okay, so the next one is gonna be a bridge, but I'm gonna give you a couple different options. What you can start with is a little bit of a pelvic tilt and then peeling up through the spine, making sure that you're not going into a forward tilt to the pelvis, that you're slightly tucked under. This will activate your glutes, it'll activate the hamstrings. Press down into the mat to get a little bit of upper back activation. If you want to challenge, you can do a single leg bridge up and down. You can even add some marching in to challenge the core stability a little bit more. Or you can loop a TheraBand into the door or onto your ballet bar and add a little bit of a TheraBand press as you go into your bridge and then slowly come down.
I feel like I've done this many times incorrectly.
You want to go into either neutral pelvis or a slight tuck.
That is so different.
Just destabilize the abdominals here, starting to use our superficial back musculature, which is what we want to avoid. We're getting that deep abdominal layer, so we want to target that transversus abdominis and some of the deep back musculature. This allows you to really get into the glutes and the hamstrings.
This is so much harder. I tilted like this much. I definitely did it incorrectly. correctly. I don't even know if I can lift one leg up. I'm going to reassess my whole life after this. I love that there's these little micro changes that you can do that makes all the difference. And it looks the same if you're just watching someone doing it, and you can do it a million times, but it doesn't actually do anything. Doing the bridge, but doing the bridge correctly is very important.
Okay, so the third one that I chose, again, activating the deep core onto all fours. Toes are going to be tucked. Pelvis is going to be in neutral. So again, we don't want to go into too much of what we call an anterior tilt, where the tailbone is going up to the ceiling. You want to press away from the mat, so you're getting a little bit of sneaky shoulder activation here. Hover the knees off and hold, and you want to hold until you start to either fatigue or lose your form, and then you release. So with this one, you will feel a little bit of quad, you'll feel some deep core, the muscles around the shoulder blades. And I like doing this one because you can progress it pretty easily. So if you want to add a little bit of crawling in, forward or backward, or even doing some cross-body action.
So it's pretty all-inclusive.
Yeah, so it's best to choose exercises that are going to be more full body because they will translate better into your dance practice.
Is there any other tips for dancers who are going on pointe?
2 things you need to do: see an experienced pointe shoe fitter like Miss Josephine over here.
That was not planned.
Also get a pointe readiness screen. So, go to your healthcare professional who works with dancers like myself. Make sure that you're moving correctly, you have good alignment and technique, so that we can prevent injuries before you even start pointe work, and it's going to increase your longevity of your pointe work and just your dancing altogether.
If you like this content, please leave that on the comments. If you have any other questions, or if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see on this channel, leave that on the comments, and we will talk to you guys later.